I'm going to teach you today. Just kidding. That's my puppy Star. She probably could do math really good too, wouldn't she? Hey Math Stars, this lesson's going to be on topic 15, lesson 3. What I want to focus on is working a table with you, which we've done in previous lessons, but then bridging over to graphing it, which we haven't done together yet. So this is from your ICP packet. This is the problem that's talking about fish caught with Megan and Scott. In the problem, they give us the rule already, and that's going to be adding 4. So Megan has a starting value they gave us of 3 fish the first hour, and then Scott has 5 fish the first hour, but both of them are going to be adding 4 each hour after that. So I'm going to apply that rule to Megan, and then we're going to apply that rule to Scott. So Megan has 3, 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 7 is 11, and 11 plus 4 is 15. So Megan's taken care of. So let's look at Scott now. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. And 13 plus 4 is 17. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look on how I can translate this into a graph. So approaching this, I have a lot going on. But before I do that, there's part of the problem that I want to go over before we actually put it on a graph. Part of the problem asks, if we were to continue this on, how many fish would Megan have when Scott has 29 fish? So we left off Scott with having 17 fish. So we need to extend our table to keep going. It's very important you stay organized because this is asking for Scott ending up with 29 fish, when before we've been answering questions on how many hours or other items. So Scott is our focus and Scott's our driving factor of when we will stop. So let's continue on with Scott's fish amount, and we're gonna stop when we get to 29. So my rule's the same, so let's add 4. I'm gonna draw some more lines so I keep everybody straight. So let's add 4 to Scott, so I'm gonna have 17 plus 4, which is gonna be 21. 21 plus 4, which is 25. Need one more line. 25 plus 4 is 29. Okay, I hit 29 fish with Scott. That's my cutoff. I know to stop. I have to now work Megan's rule to get to how many fish she will catch when Scott has 29. So I'm going to extend my table down here. So let's continue the rule. So 15 plus 4 is 19. 19 plus 4 is 23, and 23 plus 4 is 27. So if I wanted to continue my hours down to know how many hours it took for them to catch that, I would have 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's 7 hours. Megan has caught 27 fish, and Scott caught 29 fish. Let's go over to the graph. So what is this point called again? Did you say origin? If you said origin, you're correct. And the ordered pair at the origin is 0, 0, because that is where the x-axis and the y-axis intersect at 0. Before I put any of these points or these numbers on my coordinate grid over here, I'm going to look at what interval or intervals can I pick for the x-axis and the y-axis that I can plot these numbers and it would be easy to read. Could I count by ones? I could. I get up into the high 20s though, so that would be a little bit cumbersome doing all those little marks. Could I count by 2s? I could count by 2s and skip that way. I think though, I'm going to count by 3s, especially on the x-axis because I have 3, and then I have 15, and I have 27. On all of those are multiples of 3. Let's look at Scott's numbers. Well, he starts with a 5, so maybe 5, 10, 15, 20. I could do that, but then I lose some numbers in here. I could do 3, 6, 9, 12. Well, 15 is close to 13 and 17. 21 is a multiple of 3. I'm going to do 3s on both the x and the y axis. So let me set that up. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to skip a little spot because I really have 1, 2, and then 3. So I have to get to at least 27 on my x-axis for Megan. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Okay, I made it for Megan there. Could I do 30? I can. It's not going to change anything though, at least with this table. So I have to get to at least 29 for Scott. So I actually am going to count up to 30 by threes to make sure I can get Scott's point on the graph. So same idea, skip a little bit. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I can get Scott in there and his point. So now we need to turn Megan and Scott's numbers into those ordered pairs. Megan, I said, is going to be the x-axis. Scott is going to be the y-axis. So now these just transform right into ordered pairs. So this point is 3 on the x and 5 on the y. So let's plot that over here together. So 3 is Megan, 3 on the x, 5 on the y. So I'm a little bit below the 6 on the y, but I'm right on the 3 for Megan. So I'm going to go over 3 for the x and then up 5 for y. So that's going to be 0.35. Now I have my next point. My next point is going to be 7, 9. 7 on the x, 9 on the y. So let's see, 7's right after 6, and 9 I actually have on my grid. So I'm going to be a little after 6 and right up to where the point for 9 is. All right, 11, 13. 11 on the x, 13 on the y. So I have 11, so that's a little bit before the 12, and 13 is here in between this 12 and this 15, a little bit closer to the 12. So I go 11, and then I have to go up 13, so that's a little here. This works better if you have notebook paper or graph paper because at least you have some guiding lines. So now we're at 15, 17, 15 on the x, 17 on the y. So 15 I actually have, and then 17 is just a little bit below the 18. So I'm going to be right about here where they intersect. Then I have 19 and 21. Ooh, 21 is going to be on my y-axis. So 19, it comes a little after the 18. And then 21 is on my axis. So I'm going to come over and up. I'm going to be right about here. 23, 25. So 23 on the x, 25 on the y. So 23 on the x right before the 24. 25 on the y right about here. A little bit above that. And now my final point, 27 on the x, 29 on the y. So I actually have 27 on my x. 29 is going to be right below that 30. So I'm going to be right about there. So all these points are plotted on my x-axis and all these points are plotted on my y-axis to give me a graph. Now, I can connect these dots, but I should be connecting these dots with a straight edge or a ruler. And I don't have one exactly right around here, but you would take a ruler and make sure that you connected the dots in a straight line. So let's look at some other worked examples with looking at the relationships between tables, numbers, and a coordinate grid. Topic 15, lesson 3 continued. Let's look at number 10. In 10 to 12, use the rule add 15 and add 10 to help you. Okay. The Snack Shack made a table to track the amount of money from sales of frozen yogurt and fruit cups for 4 hours. What are the missing values in the table? Okay, so it says I have to add 15 and add 10, but I don't know to which one. So let's see if we can figure that out. Money from yogurt sales. So 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So $0 to $15 is adding 15. Then we don't know. And then we get to $45. Okay, so let's see if we can figure this out from the bottom too. So here's fruit cup sales, 0 to we don't know. And then we don't know to 20. But then 20 to 30, that's $10. So, okay, so fruit cup sales is going to be adding the 10. And then the yogurt sales is going to be adding the 15. So let's see if we can figure out these missing values. So I have 0 to 15, and 15 plus 15 is going to give me 30 as the missing value for 11 a.m. yogurt sales. And fruit cup, 0, well, my rule's adding 10, so 0 plus 10 is going to be 10. And then 10 plus 10 is 20, and 30, so that checks out. So what are the missing values in the table? We have yogurt is missing 30, and fruit cups are missing 10. Let's look at 11. If sales continue in the same manner, what ordered pair would represent the money from sales of yogurt and fruit cups at 1 p.m.? Okay, so my table goes to 12. I need to extend out one more hour and do some math. So 45 plus 15 is going to give me 60, and then 30 plus another 10 is going to give me 40. But this problem wants it in an ordered pair. So I'm going to make yogurt sales my X value and fruit cup sales my Y value. So remember, X is first and then Y. So my X is 60 and then my Y value is 40. So that's the ordered pair that this problem wants. Let's look at 12. Graph the ordered pairs for the money from the sales of yogurt and fruit cups from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I just did a whole graphed example, so I'm going to get you started on this one. So I'm going to draw my graph for the part of my coordinate grid. Remember, the origin is here, and the origin is 0, 0. It's where the x-axis and the y-axis meet. So I said the x-axis is going to be money from yogurt. I'm going to abbreviate. And then my y-axis is going to be my money from fruit cups. Okay. So to read these, the money from the yogurt sales and the money from the fruit cup sales, so 9 a.m., I'm going to have the ordered pair of 0, 0. 10 a.m., I'm going to have the ordered pair of 15, 10. 11 a.m., I'm going to have the ordered pair of 30, 20. 12 p.m., I'm going to have the ordered pair of 45, 30, and 1 p.m., I will have the ordered pair of 60, 40. So one of the big takeaways from the last problem that we worked is we have to have an even interval on the x-axis and an even interval on the y-axis, but they do not have to be identical. So because this problem is giving us some easy intervals to work with that they're counting by, we're just going to use those. And what I mean by that is when we look at money from yogurt sales, that's going to be on the x-axis. They're adding 15 each time. So I'm going to do 0, 0, then I'm going to come and do 15. I'm going to do 30. I'm going to do 45. And I'm going to do 60 on my x-axis graph. Now let's look at the y-axis. The y-axis was adding 10 each time. So I'm just going to count by 10s on my y-axis. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and that's as high as I have to go because my greatest value is 40 on that x-axis. So now I need to plot them. I'll start plotting two of them with you. We're going to do 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So 9 a.m. is 0, 0. That's the origin. I actually do have to mark that. So I'm going to come with my green marker and mark 0, 0. That's 9 a.m. I did that. I'm going to check it to keep track. 10 a.m. I have 15 on the x and 10 on the y. So 15 on the x and then up to 10 on the y, I'm going to plot a point. Continue on with the next three.